Okay, welcome back to day 26 of Believing I'm a Millionaire Before My Bank Account Says So. Your ability to hold power in the void determines your success in everything. Do you know what I mean by that? There's this space that exists between knowing what you want and actually having it. And I like to call this the void. We spend 87% of our life in the void. So I went to a mastermind from someone I grew up with and went to school with, and he went on to become the civilized caveman. So he wrote the rule book for paleo eating. If you guys know him, he's phenomenal. It's such a great story. But anyway, I went to his mastermind, and during intermission, he pulled me up to the board and he drew a line on the board. Whoop. And on the left side, he said, "You're here. Okay, this is where you start." And on the right side, he said, "Here's where you're going." And then he plopped me down at this point, like a quarter of the way over. He asked me, "What's happening here?" And he pointed to the space between, okay, between where I was and where I wanted to go. He said, "Who do you need to become inside this space to get to your goals?" And that's when everything changed for me. That was the beginning of learning how to master the void. So the void is the gap between planting the seed and seeing the flower, between launching our offer and getting sales, between applying for the job and getting hired, between investing in yourself and seeing returns. Most people give up in the void because they can't hold the energy and frequency of their desires without seeing immediate evidence. I guarantee you that you can think of an example right now where you gave up before you saw results, right? Remember when we talked about Gary Vee and he said, micro speed, macro patience. This is what the void requires, okay? Macro patience for the vision, micro speed and daily action, even if it's just a little action every day. So here's just one example of this. In 2022, I launched a retreat with my good friend. We had this goal of signing up 8 people for the retreat. 1 month before the event, we had one person. One person signed up. I was feeling incredibly disappointed, but we kept showing up, we kept pushing, we kept hanging posters and leading calls and advertising our retreat. And soon, someone that we knew came to us and said that they were hosting a retreat at the same time in the same place, and they asked if we wanted to join forces. She had 6 people signed up. So we ended up hosting a retreat for 7 beautiful women. Now, the rest of the story didn't go as planned. And that was a retreat that I learned a lot from financially, in partnerships, and many other lessons. But that's a story for another day. But what would have happened if we stopped showing up in that month leading up to the retreat with just one person signed up? What would have happened if we canceled the retreat? We would have robbed 7 women the opportunity for transformation. What would have happened if I gave up on my business as a whole because of that one event? I wouldn't be here today with 266,000 of you beautiful souls and growing. So your ability to stay in the frequency of your desire, to hold the vision, to take aligned action and maintain unwavering belief without needing external validation is what separates successful people from everyone else. Imagine planting a seed and saying, in 1 month, this will be a beautiful flower, and every day you water it and nothing happens, and you water it again and still nothing. And after some time, you start doubting it. And you're like, I knew this wouldn't work. I knew I couldn't be a good gardener. This is exactly how my life goes, right? And so you stop watering it and you stop visiting it and you give up. What happens to the seed? It never sprouts. But what if you had kept watering it with love and certainty, knowing that growth was happening beneath the surface? The question becomes, can you hold the power of your vision without the circumstances validating you? We talked about that yesterday. Can you show up with the same energy on day 30 of no results as you did on day 1, knowing that the results are happening under the surface and building compounding interest along the way? This is the difference between those who create extraordinary results and those who quit before the breakthrough. So here's today's action step. Ready? You're going to do the void power practice. Step 1. Identify one area where you're currently in the void, waiting for results you haven't seen yet. Okay, this could be your wealth. Write this statement down. I am absolutely certain of my outcome, regardless of the time frame. 3. Ask yourself, how would I show up today if I knew my result was guaranteed, but I didn't know when it would arrive? Step 4. Take one action from that place of certainty without needing to see immediate evidence. And then last but not least, step 5 is practice saying, I trust the process. Growth is happening beneath the surface. This builds your void mastery muscle, your ability to hold power even when you can't see the proof. Share with us, what void are you learning to hold with power right now? And then we'll see you tomorrow for day 27.